Okay, so it's my first time doing something like that. So sorry if I will do something wrong. I hope not. So I want to respond to Kent Hovind. I see that he did post my video on his channel, so I'm grateful for that. It's my first time on a channel that big. So in our debate, Kent pointed out that uh, the Institute of Creation did indeed publish a paper on what I said about multicellularity, and that was for him a good response to my points. I want to look at this paper live here, and I want to explain to you why I do not think it's a very good response to my points. So I will try to share my screen to show you the paper. Mhm. Okay. Okay. So here you can see the actual paper that I did brought up, but we are more interested in this one. This is the author of the paper. I did some research on him, but I want to look into this paper. So, this paper, first of all, was made by only one person. I do not think it's a problem by itself, but I think it's very important to see how creationists, younger creationists work. What I do think about this paper, I think that the point made was not very good. Why? They are talking about the paper I brought up during the debate, and they say that that was not real multicellularity. So the example is exactly what I did brought up, as you say there. One example is about green algae, and the species is exactly what was discussed in the paper I did brought up. So we are talking about the same thing. Here is saying that there are various kinds of algae, and some are multicellular, and they think that either the Chlamydodas was a species devolved from other species of algae that are multicellular, or that it's not actually evolution. So they claim that those results are not a multicellular algae, but something different. They do not bring up real data on it. I do not find, did not find any experiments done by these this man. It's he does have a PhD in biology, the author of this paper. So it's a qualified scientist, for what I know. But I do not see a real response to my points. They just say that it's not real multicellularity, and basically that's all. I'm open to any criticism on this point, but I did not find anything suggesting otherwise here. So, yeah, here they claim that it's all caused by epigenetic traits, basically predation switched on some genes already present in the algae. So it's not real evolution, even though they did became de facto multicellular. If not, this point would be not a very good one to bring up. So for them, no new traits, no such a things. Now I want to show you the original paper. First of all, here you can see the figure where you can see how these organisms reproduce. Those are real photos of the algae. And no, in this paper, they did claim that the organism will destroy itself basically every time it need to reproduce. As you can see there, it's not the process. Those are the monocellular algae. They divide and then they create new spawn. Here you can see that they reproduce in a very slightly different way. Those are three examples of basically multicellularity in the same paper. It's important because they are not the same if the change is just epigenetic. Why we have three forms different from one another, evolving from the same population, mind you. It does not make any sense. Here you can see the first figure, and it's quite important. Those are not monocellular organisms. They stick together, are multicellular. And also, I want to show you the results. I did show in my original presentation, and I will show you in a little why I did brought up this part of the paper, because they said that they keep this population evolved, the evolved one, the mutated one, for 4 years without predators. Here, the strains are maintain their evolved characteristic for 4 years as unfrozen in use laboratory strains. And here, therefore, we are confident that the phenotypic traits we report below are stable, heritable. So here you can see my point. It's not like those algae just stick together in response to predation and then they switch it off. If it was phylogenetic, you would see something like that. So it's not so simple as you can see. I see that no one is watching, but it's not a problem. It was just to give a response. Now I want to show you my presentation. It's not complete. I think I deleted a small part of it, but it's quite important to show you what I was saying in that part of the presentation. So I will share my screen again. Okay. Now you can see here my screen. Okay. And I will start the presentation. So, evolution of multicellularity. What were my points there? If you can find some mistakes in the writings, it's because I could not finish my presentation for internet issues short before the debate. So here you can see the paper I did read with you now, and those was my point. The results I already show to you this part of the paper. I did chop off a little bit here for aesthetic purpose, but I did not change anything in the paper. I will post my sources. I think that you can still find them in my original video for the debate, but those were my points. As you see, it's not like they just obtain some multicellular form. We are talking about multicellular forms. You can see those in the background. They are not unicellular forms at all. But it's important to understand because creationists will try to say it's just an epigenetic trait and things like that. No, they kept those traits for 4 years. It's very important, this point. This was my second slide on the topic. So it's important because we have experimental results, and here you can see the same image I show you early in this video. And I said that they were at least 2. In reality, we have 3. But it's important because the most evident ones are slightly different. In the paper, you can also find some data about the dimension of the clusters. The most common one were with 8 cells conglomerate. It's quite interesting. So they did indeed evolve or not? The answer for me it's very simple. Yeah, they did. It's just that easy. They just did. And it was an actual experiment. It's not like we did not observe those things. We did. Of course. Those scientists did. It's not like I was involved in any way, shape, or form. But it's a very good point. It's not what creationists are saying. It's real multicellularity, and it's not even a single instance. I can show you points where in the paper they say yeah, it's not even the first time we that happened, and we can show it. Give me a minute and I will bring it up. Uh, okay, I found it. I will share my screen again. I hope it's not too messy. I'm new to this kind of stuff. I never did uh, any video this long, so it's a first time for me. The setting, maybe it's not the best. I did renovate my room, and the illumination is not great. I will in the future try to have a better illumination and things like that. But for now, I think that will suffice. So, okay. Here. Okay. So, of course, I can hear you say, yeah, it was all in the past. But it's a fair point. We can observe this kind of process, but not just in the past. Here you can see that we do have, in fact, new examples, and the one I gave you, it was not the only one. Yes, and you also have links. If you go to this paper, you can find those studies. So it's not like I only have one example of it. You just have to click, find the citation, and find the paper, and you can look at all those examples. And it's important to point out why, because as uh, most of you know, it's not a point that was brought up only one time by me. I stand on the shoulder of giants. I think that people like Dr. Dan and other very, very knowledgeable and skilled YouTubers already pointed out to Kent those kind of things, not just to Kent, of course. And it's important to note we do not have a single example. In a debate, it's not easy to give evidence for those kind of things. In my case, I can say I did have some experience in the lab. Of course, I'm a chemist. I'm no biologist. I'm not an expert on these topics. I do study them for my hobby, and I do enjoy these kind of things, but far to be an expert at all. If I get something wrong, I will admit it because no expert at all. But I did show to all of you. Right now, no one is watching, but I hope someone will do, that we do have evidence. We have images of those organisms. We can show that trait was inherited. It's not like it's just an epigenetic trait. It's not like that. It's more complex than that. And so I do not think that the point of this person, I do not know this scientist. I just read his paper, and that's all. But I think it was a very bad point. And on Kent, yeah, I do not think he does know if this person he cited is wrong or not. I think he just reported the paper. It's not his fault in this case at all. But it was not a good source. I want to end my video. 20 minutes and counting of video. It's the first video that long on my channel. Always look for the sources, and you can ask for me. I will give you anything. I'm very happy to help anyone to find sources and things like that. And look for difference from those papers. I do not think that the paper we are reviewing its peer review, and you can tell. Of course, you do not need to do experiments to have a point. You can just report some other data and build your argument on that. But that was a very bad argument, if you ask me. But it's interesting to see the difference on language and on how these papers are made. The young Earth creation paper was made by just one guy. It's not good, not because this guy is bad at this job, but when you do things like that, you need people under you to help you doing experiment, doing research. Alone, it's a very hard job. Maybe you can do a very good job, but you always will have a bias, and to have other people with you can help to reduce that because no people see the world as you see. It's a very important process in science. Let me know if this was a good video. It was just me trying things, not new to this kind of things. Sorry, I'm new to this kind of things. I'm a newbie, actually. So have a nice day. Here it's not even 6 p.m., so it's very early. I will have dinner soon, and I hope to see you all soon. Goodbye.